That's the Sri Lankan team. A happy unit. They've played 4 finals. And what a role Dinesh Chandimal has played. He sacrificed his place for the team.
Now has he got it? Yes, he has. Sri Lanka, the new champions of the ICC World T20. Well played.
Ooh, that's out, is it? He's given up. A direct hit again has worked for the Australians. So MS Dhoni, the Indian captain, he's hit the stumps. Australia are through to the World Cup final.
Oh, game over! Game over! Andre Russell has launched it into the stands.
That's gone up India. Surprise takes the catch. It's all over. Pakistan win. 158 India blown away in the final, and it's Pakistan who are through. Bold. That's the last pair. You can expect something like that to happen. So England have won the World Cup. And it's the 4th time they've done that.
Hit away over mid-on, goes away for 4. Amy Jones has a half century, Nat Siver has a half century, and England have another World Cup final.
Yeah, they've got to push for 2. Who's going to cover the keeper's stumps? They're going to go. Going to get up. Directed. Oh, directed.
Thanks, Kevin. I've made my decision.
It says that magic 3-letter word. He tries, he can't do it. There's a little touches there. It is, it's over. It's over. Latham takes the catch.
A chance, and with that, a magical moment in Australian sport has been achieved.
Whips that one away, and how appropriate that Ross Taylor and Kane Williamson are there for this moment, for this team. It's a story that's akin to David versus Goliath, but Kane Williamson and his team.
India register the 3rd win of the tournament. It may be their last match, and the last match is captain of the T20 international side for Virat Kohli, but they have gone out in style.
That's high. It's over, Kohli. England win. And they've given India a real hammering here.
What a mishap for the Indian skipper, Harmanpreet Kaur. The bat got stuck in the pitch. She cannot believe it.
It's up and over, but it will not matter. Australia are through to their 7th final in a row in this T20 format, and they were pushed all the way by India.
That's in the air and taken. Australia win the World Test Championship. It's a comprehensive win. They win by 210 runs.
He joins the legends, Ponting and Gilchrist, as an Australian to make 100 in the World Cup final.
Bang. He'll come back for 2. And Australia win the World Cup for the 6th time, and in front of 120,000 people. They've upstaged the home team.
And now, finally, the birds are singing, the children are dancing, Siraj is crying. Now, I'm not talking about the 2023 World Cup. This time, it's the 2024 T20 World Cup. India's finally won the ICC curse, the ICC drought, Kohli's silverware, all are here now. Eshaan, how do you feel? What are your emotions?
It's I don't know. I mean, I still haven't processed it fully.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to react. I don't know how to feel because we're not used to this. You see India winning the big games.
Yeah.
Finally, silverware is here after 11 years of hurt.
Yeah.
11 years of wait. I remember I was 10 years old when we won the Champions Trophy back in 2013.
Yeah.
And now it's 2024, and we finally have that ICC Trophy back with us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely emotional. And we've been talking about India in this podcast and how they've suffered and struggled to win the big cups. But yeah, it's come full circle now in the season 1 finale. So it's a good feeling. It's a very good feeling. But how about you?
For sure, and I can't put it to words what this means to like a Indian cricket fan. So many tournaments, you like follow them, and of course this time I came in with no expectations given the 2020 World Cup, but I think that was the best part of it. Going into the final, still having a little bit of hope, and the boys came through. But yeah, let's talk about India's campaign in general. It has been yet another lossless campaign. Sorry, not another. We lost the final, but but yet another very dominating campaign. India, of course, didn't lose a single game. What do you think has been the reason for this new, approach? What's been the reason for this domination over the other countries?
I think over the past couple of years, we played the aggressive cricket. Rohit Sharma has talked about changing how we approach the game, especially T20 cricket. We've looked to be aggressive, and even in the 2023 ODI World Cup, we were pretty aggressive throughout.
Yeah.
We were dominant, and right up to, until the final, where we, I think, sort of, overthought about the pitch and the slowness and spinning, and I don't know why we sort of changed our approach in the final. But this time around, it was different. I think we were a lot more calmer. And I think obviously the venue obviously helped, not being Ahmedabad, not being surrounded by Indian fans all over the stadium and the hotels as well.
Yeah.
So I think they must have been a lot calmer this time, and they pulled through. The final as well. I didn't feel like we changed our approach. Rohit still showed their intent. Kohli still showed his intent in the first 2 overs. So it was brilliant to watch finally them overcoming that final hurdle. And I think this point onwards, India will win those big cups more frequently. I hope at least.
No, hopefully, yeah, definitely. And I think that this win felt personal, for a lot of the players themselves, because they've been inching this close. They've been playing that good cricket, and it's always the 45 minutes of bad cricket. That's been ruining things. Exactly. But I think, let's get to the top moments of this World Cup. I'll start us off. USA beating Pakistan. That's number one. Forget India winning after these many years. USA beating Pakistan.
Big shocker.
It's a huge shocker. For immigrants who are moving out of their own country into another country, and then beating the host country. It's just fantastic as a story itself. The narrative of how much cricket has grown is shown by these games.
Exactly.
But firstly, your thoughts on the game?
It was a big shock, and I mean, it's very good to see associate nations like USA, Canada, stepping up and showing that they can perform in these big games.
Yeah.
I mean, they are of high quality. They were getting those 170s, 180s, bowling teams out with ease.
Yeah.
So it was really good to see. But from Pakistani point of view, it's just shocking to see them sort of get so close and yet not know how to finish the game off.
Yeah.
And very impressive from the US side as well to hold their nerve and to beat them. And talking about associate nations as a whole, I think even Canada beat Ireland. So that was a big achievement for them as well, their first World Cup win.
Yeah.
So very happy for these associate nations, and USA. I think we're going to see a lot more of them in these World Cups, and get to see America sort of adopting the sport, and I hope it grows here.
Definitely. And we talk about the greatest all-rounder of all time. No, it's not you, Ahmad. I'm talking about Saurabh Netravalkar.
Of course.
The all-rounder off the field and on the field. Man's a master's in engineering from Cornell University. Man works at Oracle as a software engineer, and now he's beaten Pakistan.
Yeah.
He's got bragging rights on Virat Kohli's wicket and Rohit Sharma's wicket.
And he's a Marathi bhav as well.
He's a Marathi bhav, and man sings.
Man sings as well, exactly.
So I mean, if you're his cousin or his relative, I just feel bad for you.
Yeah, can't compete.
Yeah, but I think talking about Pakistan's downfall in this tournament, it's been way too scary to see, because Pakistan used to be a team that, like, opponents used to fear, until very recently as well. Like, they had a bowling lineup that backed it up. Their batting was finally getting some momentum to it.
Yeah.
But again, it just goes to show, no matter how good of a team you have, you will end up suffering the consequences of a bad team environment. And similar to MI, again, Pakistan really did have some sort of rumours, be it rumours, but like the team environment didn't seem as friendly. There's a lot of blaming game going on, and I'm not sure of Babar's future in the captaincy as well.
Exactly.
So what do you think Pakistan really needs to do to get that next level, to finally, be the Pakistan that we know?
I think some stability.
Yeah.
We saw Wasim Akram go, off on them, and I get the emotion, I get the hurt, but you got to realize that they still need Babar, they still need Rizwan in the team.
Yeah.
I do agree with switching around a few of the players to find some new sort of perspective, but then stick with them. I think some stability, both players and management, is needed. They keep switching captains, they keep switching coaches and selectors, and that's not going to help them at all. You know? We saw that with MI this year, and I think we're going to see that with Pakistan as well if they don't, change their ways. They need to just be calm and just stable for some time. Just stick to the players, trust their players, trust their management, and just, I think the results will follow, in my opinion. I think that's one like key sort of highlight is the team culture that we talked about a lot. Is so important in cricket nowadays, especially in T20 cricket and big tournaments. We've got to have that good environment for your players.
For sure. And like another highlight of mine is at least the Nepal South Africa game. I mean, we'll talk about South Africa's campaign as a whole, but Nepal South Africa game, Nepal lost by 1 run. And I think just having those, again, just goes to show the dominance that these younger teams are having on world cricket. Like, what were your thoughts on that game?
I just really wanted them to win.
Yeah.
I think that would have been so amazing, because Nepal's crowd as well, the crowd support that they had, this World Cup was phenomenal. I mean, some of the stadiums were packed with the Nepali crowd, and it was so good to see young nations again almost at the brink of making history. USA made it, Canada beat Ireland. It would have been so good to see Nepal crossing the line as well, but at least they show their quality, they showed that they can compete, and they can cause those upsets. But it was great to see them play that. But talking about upsets, talking about an almost upset that we had, like a big scare that we had, India-Pakistan. Where do you think that, how do you think that game went? Because for me, it was a complete scare throughout until Rizwan decided to slog Bumrah over mid-wicket. But what do you think of that game, and how did you, when India started batting, did you think that game was lost?
I was like, okay, it's going to be 14-2, our scoreline. Still quite a dominant. I won't call it a rivalry, but it's 15-1 now. That's crazy. But I definitely thought we didn't have enough runs on the board. We were minimum 20-40 runs short in that game. But what came into my mind was like, okay, they also have to bat.
Exactly.
They also have to get those 120 runs. And I think Rohit, the master of low total, he's a captain made for that. He's done it in the 2017 final against Rising Pune Super Giants. But in that final, he defended some 127 after being in a bad situation with Steve Smith still, So I think it was the perfect situation, and the best weapon that Rohit Sharma has built in this team is the bowling attack, of course, but within that, the real thorn to the opposition is Jasprit Bumrah. Sanjana, just a message out for you. He's our husband now. It's declared he's the nation's husband. We will ask him what's for dinner, not you.
Sorry about that.
But talking about Jasprit Bumrah.
He's too good. He's way too good. I think he's one of the best white ball cricketers or bowlers to play this game, if not like the best. He's just too good. I think the TGC guys call him the mystery seamer. And that fits him so well, because you never know what's going to come out And yeah, it's just amazing to watch him dominate. He ended up with like a 4.5, 4.4 economy in a T20 tournament.
That's insane.
Which is just shocking. Which is just, it shows us class. I think his dot percentage is one of the highest. I don't know the exact stats, but it was just crazy to watch him dominate every single team that we played against. You know, I don't think any batsman really got off against Bumrah. I think everyone is sort of careful except for Rizwan, who decided to slog him. Everyone was careful against Bumrah because they know the class he has. So amazing to watch this young, Indian bowler who will shine for us for a couple of years at least.
For sure. But yeah, talking about India's campaign and moving along within that, of course, through the early group stages, we were doing quite well, and I don't think so there was any like choke hold anywhere. Like it was a very dominant performance throughout.
Yeah.
But come the Australia game, we just lost that final against them. We've lost the Under-19 final to them. We've lost the WTC final to them. Surely it has to play a bit of hint of like another match against Australia, and it was virtually a quarter-final. But Rohit Sharma decides to take it personally, and that knock, 92 of 41. Like, firstly, what are your thoughts? Where does that? Because that was ultra personal in my opinion. Slog sweeping Pat Cummins. The silencer silenced himself. But your thoughts?
Just amazing, and I agree with you. I think it was personal.
Yeah.
I think the hurt and the sort of hunger showed in that innings.
Yeah.
In that entire innings, I felt like India came into that game with a very aggressive sort of outlook, and they were like, okay, we're gonna take our revenge. We're gonna play our game out there.
Yeah.
Different circumstances, obviously, and Australia was on the back foot in terms of the tournament. Where they was placed.
Yeah.
Almost at the brink of elimination.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to see Rohit Sharma, the kind of cricket he's played over the past couple of months. Didn't have the best of IPLs, obviously.
Yeah.
And to see him play for India in his last T20 World Cup, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch him play that innings, just showing why he's one of the best to have played for India in this format.
Yeah.
And great to see Australia, on the back foot, getting lost. Us beating them so well, so comfortably. It just feels good to beat Australia.
Yeah. Where are you, Pearlers now, Stark? 26 of 1 over.
So good.
And it's very satisfying to watch that knock. Of course, the more satisfying thing was Travis Head's knock. He made sure to play that villain. Something happens to the guy when he sees the blue jersey. But the best part of the entire match was when Jasprit Bumrah bowled that slower ball.
Yeah.
Travis Head mistimed it, and guess who's on that catch? It's like absolute cinema.
You can't write this.
You can't. Jesha, stop.
You can't write this.
You can't write this. And Rohit taking that catch, it just felt complete. Like a small part of me felt complete after that game.
Yeah.
But talking about Australia's performance in this World Cup, what are you up to? Like you had a great team, filled with a very good star-studded lineup. Like Marcus Stoinis, David Warner, Travis Head, Glenn Maxwell. Forget that. But but a good bowling lineup as well. You had Pat Cummins, Adam Zampa, like perfectly balanced team, batting till quite late, and you get knocked over by Afghanistan, right? Like they've played some amazing cricket, but I think it just goes to show, like even Afghanistan had their revenge, especially in the 2023 World Cup when Glenn Maxwell played that blinder of an innings.
Right.
I think Afghanistan felt this was their time, and they showed. Like, what was your thought on that game?
That game in particular was very interesting. Obviously, I really wanted for Afghanistan to beat Australia.
Yeah.
And they did. I mean, that was crazy. I think, again, the hurt from that World Cup game as well, that must have carried over. Because I remember Rashid and Nabi, they were almost like they didn't know how to react during that game in Mumbai at Wankhede. And it was just crazy to see Afghanistan sort of dominance throughout, and they made the semi-finals, which was amazing. The two openers, I mean, they were brilliant throughout. I think they were at the top. I don't know the exact stat again, but the partnership they had, I think it was one of the highest in the list. The consistency in their sort of 100-run partnerships, the 80-run partnerships that they got off to. I think that was the strength of Afghanistan. Even in that game, I felt like they completely outplayed Australia, which is such a rarity, right? It's so rare to see Australia being outplayed, and it's so satisfying again to see a nation like Afghanistan, after all that they've been through, to beat Australia and to send them out. It was amazing to watch from Afghanistan point of view.
Definitely. And talking about send-offs, let's talk about Gulbadin Naib's absolute cinema-worthy, Oscar-worthy performance. So the King's hand, and he takes one. Man, what a fall! What a clutch game that was. But what goes under the radar is Dwayne Bravo's brilliance. Because while that was happening, when last wicket Mustafizur came into bat, Dwayne Bravo sees the cameras panning at him, tells the camera there's going to be a short ball coming up, there's a fine leg in place, and beauty, Naveen Ulak bowls a full ball. Absolute genius stuff. You know, it just goes to show experience will beat skill level at a certain point in time. But yeah, like talking about Bangladesh as well, like what's going wrong? Like they don't have a clean hitter of the ball, and they went to the T20 World Cup without a clean hitter. So what do you think needs to change there?
Again, like some sort of quality in terms of like you find your roles, right? You find your these are our hitters, these are the players who will anchor. I don't think they have it figured out. You know, their openers are. They kind of changed Shomi Sharkar. I think he opened the innings for a few games and he was switched around, played in the middle. So again, like lack of clarity in the roles there for Bangladesh. Bowling did sort of disappoint me. Mustafizur, the kind of IPL he had, we kind of expected him to dominate here, especially in the slower tracks. But you know, their bowling also kind of fell apart. But kind of sad to see. They also could have qualified, by the way, if they would have chased 112 or whatever in 12 overs. And I felt like they could have gone harder. I think they could have showed more intent there. And halfway through, they just gave up, I felt. And I think it was kind of doable. Imagine a Bangladesh and a South Africa semi-final. That would have been historic in itself.
Exactly.
So I'm just happy for Afghanistan, but disappointing from a Bangladeshi standpoint.
Yeah, and Afghanistan, of course, making it to the semi-final this time. That's just a win for cricket in general.
Absolutely.
Because that for a team that played its first ICC tournament in like a proper reckoning nation in 2019. Of course, they did qualify in 2015, and they've played T20 World Cups before. But 2019 was their real start, and from then to just 5 years down the line, they're a semi-finalist. It's absolutely impressive. Of course, that game was quite unfortunate, and it's like the pitch conditions, absolutely new pitch being used, an experimental pitch. It was nearly dangerous, one could say, because of the up and down bounce there was. But like talking about the other semi-final, of course, let's talk about England. England had a very interesting campaign because they did play some dominating cricket, but they were also like lackluster at their moments. Like in the Scotland game, they got hammered for 19-10 overs, and they say, "Oh, we would have chased that down." Right, you would. But what are your thoughts on the English campaign?
I mean, extremely disappointing. I mean, they were the defending champions, so we did expect them to sort of dominate, or at least make it to the semis. But if you see the kind of cricket they played, they only beat the younger nations. They failed to win against Australia. They lost against South Africa, and then against India as well. So these bigger teams, they didn't know, they weren't able to cross the line. And the only wins they got were against these younger nations. So you can't say that they had a very good campaign this time around, which is kind of surprising because the team they had, Butler, the form he's in, and he showed his class as well. He tried to, give them good starts, but just not consistent enough. I think they weren't quick to adapt to the pitch conditions. Salt and sort of Butler had the same outlook throughout. They didn't look to change or at least adapt to the slower pitches. Which is disappointing from a bowling perspective as well. Obviously, Rashid did have an impact to play. But other than that, you just lackluster. I think that's the right word for it, like you said.
And the fact that the team that played this T20 World Cup is almost nearly identical, in fact better than the one that they were champions for.
For sure.
Just goes to show how much the pitch has to play a part, and you need to adapt accordingly. And that's why India's initial decision of playing four spinners, like, oh no, what are you doing? But now it kind of does make sense.
It does.
But let's get to the final itself. Now, before I start talking about the final, here's us, the calm, composed Eshaan, Soni and Akshat, Ranjan, watching that final live.
Enjoy this.
Catch it!
Hardik Pandya swing and a miss. 13 years since India picked up the last ICC Trophy. Here it goes, 10 needed of 2. That's a wide, you have to bowl that again. 9 needed of 2. Swings in the air, this should be taken. Stand from the... It's India! T20 World Cup after 17 years. The drought is over. Tournament after 30. Look at the support start there. And then they lost by 7 runs.
That's great. Okay. Eshaan, Soni, Akshat, Ranjan. India's just won the World Cup final.
Have they? Yeah. Nice.
What are your thoughts?
Still processing them, to be honest, but can't believe it. After 2013, first ICC Trophy. We'll probably talk about it on the podcast. Episode coming soon. Shout out. But yeah, can't believe it. Can't put it into words.
Yeah, had some amazing Kajal and celebration. Great Kajals, but the jinx worked. Hating on my own players, it worked.
What do you think, Suryakumar? Let's get your reaction as well.
Feeling very proud, feeling very satisfied after all these years for India to finally get the win when it mattered the most. Yeah, it's a good feeling right now. Can't really put it into too many words.
So, that was our reaction.
That was something.
Yeah. I mean, let's now talk like civilized individuals. Ignore completely what we felt through that. But yeah, let's talk about that game. Firstly, Virat Kohli. Like, what a start to that game. Just Marco Jansen, he was on him. Cow drive, flick, and Rohit in the next over, 2 back-to-back boundaries. India got off to a flyer. So, again, Kohli hasn't been in off runs throughout the World Cup. Scoring 37 runs of 100 strike rate isn't Virat Kohli, right? It's maybe 5 runs of a 90 strike rate.
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, what are your thoughts on that initial start and India's batting effort?
It was great to see that Kohli didn't look to change his intent.
Yeah.
He didn't let the outside sort of noise affect his intent, at least.
Yeah.
Still looked to score initially, make use of the power play.
Yeah.
And then he was so smart to quickly change his game as soon as Rohit got out, as soon as Pant and Surya got out.
Yeah.
Slowed his game down, decided to play the anchor role.
Yeah.
And then accelerated towards the back end.
Yeah.
Got those few sixes. But it's so hard being Kohli. Just talking about Kohli overall.
Yeah.
So hard being Kohli because in the IPL you saw him play at the 120, 130 strike rate initially.
Yeah.
People said play quicker, show more intent, hit those boundaries early on. Now he starts to do that. He starts to show more intent, starts to go at the bowlers early on.
Yeah.
And you say, Kohli, maybe take some more time. Be more careful.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's so hard being Kohli, but that's the class of his game. The way he's able to just keep calm, show his maturity on the field, not let that affect his game, and just look to play for India, win games for India, and adapt his game to that. So great to see Kohli getting that fairy tale ending, and we'll talk more about that, like I said. But just this game in particular, him standing up when it mattered the most.
Yeah.
Time and time again, he stood up for the team in these crucial situations. This was no different.
Definitely. And Akshar's knock goes quite under the radar, but that counteracting, slog sweeping knock of 47 was very, very crucial to India's batting effort because yes, there's the early scare, and I remember in the India-Pakistan game in 2022, Axar Patel was sent to do this exact role. Unfortunately, he got run out then. He got run out now, but with 47 more runs to his belt. Patel in US, something happens.
Exactly. Exactly.
But talking about another Gujarati, Jasprit Bumrah does not fail to deliver. That absolute pearler of a ball to Riza Hendricks.
It's the ball of the tournament for me.
100%. Like, I mean, it's the Stark to Abhishek Sharma.
Exactly.
It's that kind of ball. It does rank in that kind of ball because it just sets the tone.
So good.
Like, we are going to dominate. It was that.
Yeah.
But of course, let's talk about the real champion in that batting. Temba, no. but we miss you, Temba.
We miss you.
We miss you. You would have made it a much easier final for us.
Poor Temba.
No, talking about Quinton de Kock first. Of course, even his, one of his final campaigns in the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
What do you think of that knock?
I think again, like showing why he's played for South Africa at this level for so long.
Yeah.
Just showing why he's so good at this in this format.
Yeah.
And he's done that so many times for South Africa, and this time almost got them over the line as well. But I think again, like India showing why they were so calm under pressure.
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma, saw that final leg was up. He like wants to take Arshdeep on.
Yeah.
Sends the final leg back, Kuldeep back, and the very next ball gets him caught out. So would have loved to see Quinton de Kock with the trophy, but since it was us playing against them, it's tough. It's tough playing South Africa in the final and seeing them like this.
Yeah.
Like Quinton de Kock. But yeah, class player, deserves more.
Yeah.
And I mean, good to see at least them making the final and Quinton de Kock playing a big part in that in this World Cup.
Definitely. Talking about class players, let's talk about Hardik Klaasen.
Nice.
Oh man, that's
scary.
That guy is scary. Like, he can destroy any spinner. He would take on Prime Shane Warne and whack him for 4 sixes.
He deserves to say that. Yeah.
He deserves to say that because, I mean, that knock of like just counter and something again. It's something about India that particularly gets him going. Again, didn't have too much of a fancy tournament, but come to the final and bam, bam. That over of 24 runs against Axar Patel.
Yeah.
I thought, again, it's over.
It's over.
It's 27 of 28. Any international team is going to get that. Any local team is going to get that. And that's all thanks to Hardik Klaasen.
Yeah.
But wherever there is class, there's also Gujarati.
Exactly.
Because Hardik Pandya comes in, bowls an absolute cutter, wide cutter. Could have left it, but wide cutter of a ball. Hardik Klaasen nicks it, and that's where the game changes. The dynamic of the entire game ended there. Because after that, the generational chokers showed the decade chokers how it's done.
Exactly.
Because after that, a brilliant spell of bowling, of course, from Jadeja Bumrah, getting Marco Jansen, giving, I think, 2 runs away of his over. And Arshdeep, again, he's nailing those Yorkers in. But, like, what do you think of that entire time period of the Indian bowling? Like, it just felt so magical.
Amazing. I mean, again, like, I was preparing myself for another heartbreak.
Yes.
Seeing 30 or 30, there was no way we were going to win that game.
Yeah.
The way Klaasen was going. We never seemed to change our plans, I felt. We still kept on attacking him with our spinners.
Yeah.
And he decided to just turn it on, take the game on. It was a right decision from him.
Yeah.
I felt like his innings and also Stubbs' innings that we didn't talk about. I think that was very scary to watch. And it was very good to see, obviously from a South African point of view, to see them take the game on.
Yeah.
But yeah, very scary. And after, that game changed with Hardik Pandya's ball, it was just nerves right till the end. But a glimmer of hope started to appear.
Definitely. And then, cut to the last over. South Africa well in this. 16 of 6.
Yeah.
Dynamic of the 2007 World Cup. It's a repeat. And Hardik Pandya says, no, I'll go one step further. I'll bowl a juicy full toss. Misbah dispatched it for 6. This was going for 6.
I saw your reaction. You just went like this immediately.
And, man, I thought, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
But Surya literally caught the World Cup. He caught the World Cup, nestled it in his hands, threw it up and caught it back again. It was absolute poetry. Hands down, the best catch of the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Given the context of it as well. And it will go down with those catches. Kapil Dev's catch of Viv Richards.
Yeah.
Srisanth's catch of Misbah as well.
Exactly.
Right? But it will go, like, what are your thoughts on that moment itself and that catch?
Just goosebumps. I mean, you saw my reaction there. Like, I could not believe my eyes. Firstly, I was like, hopefully he hasn't touched the rope.
Yeah.
But he didn't, and just one of the best catches I've seen. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about this like years to come. Like, our parents talk about the Kapil Dev catch.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Suryakumar Yadav catch in
Definitely.
2024.
Yeah.
Just amazing to see how training and how IPL experience and how just overall experience helps you in these situations.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine in that situation when you are looking up at the ball,
Yeah.
you see the World Cup going over your head. And
Yeah.
you remain calm, you remain composed. You have that sort of awareness of throwing it back. I don't know how you do that.
Exactly.
And it just shows Suryakumar's brilliance and experience, and there's no words to explain what I felt after that catch was completed. I was like, yes, that's the World Cup. That's it.
Yeah, and Miller going, of course, again, South Africa's first final, it did feel emotional.
Yeah.
But we are selfish. and personally, it was very satisfying to see that World Cup finally in our hands.
Exactly.
Rahul Dravid, of course, becoming Barbados Gunda. That was some moment where he was vigorously shaking the trophy.
So good.
Again, it felt like a Shah Rukh Khan moment for him. What he couldn't have, he got as coach.
Yeah.
I think it was very emotional for him as well. But talking about the real, emotions of bidding farewells, there are three very big, star-studded Indian names that are bidding farewell to this format of the game. Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma and Ravindra Jadeja. Your thoughts on their farewells?
It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
But I would rather have them have this World Cup than to have lost this World Cup and then have retired.
Yeah.
Because Kohli said that I was going to announce this regardless of the result.
Yeah.
So definitely bittersweet there. Obviously a fairy tale ending. It was going to end one day or the other.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's the perfect moment for these three players to step down.
Yeah.
And just gift this World Cup to India.
Yeah.
And say, okay, bye. We let the next generation come in.
Mm-hmm.
And Shivam Dubey come in and play in the World Cup in the years to come.
Yeah.
Bittersweet. But what are your thoughts on these three legends, three stalwarts of Indian cricket, and was this like the perfect ending for them, the fairy tale ending?
It feels unreal personally. Like these names that are like almost constantly. Like when you're listing out your playing 11, you don't need to mention them.
Yeah,
they are there.
Exactly.
Despite Jadeja in the group stages having 0 runs, 0 wickets, 0 catches, they are there.
They're there.
But I think it's just going to be weird watching T20 eyes from now. I mean, to be fair, India's been playing with the India C team for the past few years, but it's just going to be weird that there's no Virat, no Rohit, and it, especially with the batting aspect, you're going to feel a sense of insecurity. Like there's no Virat to save you, there's no Rohit to save you.
Yeah. Finally realize the value of Kohli and Rohit.
Exactly, and I hope many fans realize that not everything is about the strike rates. It's about being that clutch player on that day. And Virat has done that so many times. Rohit has done that so many times. And Jadeja, with those catches he's taken, he's done it countless times that often goes under the radar. But they got their fairy tale ending, and we are getting our fairy tale ending as well. With a win, of course, in this T20 World Cup, we are ending the first season of the Overcast Podcast with the AMS Cricket Club. Of course, very grateful to the AMS Cricket Club for continually supporting us through this journey. Along with many others, we want to thank, of course. I will start off with Manan Chaudhary, our initial DOP for the podcast. A lot of the episodes were shot at his place, so we thank him for that. Ady Pahuja as well. Our grateful DOP and producer also sends in some comments on our channel. But Aryan Sharma, of course, the guest in our podcast, and then we talk about some of the crew work, Sakshi Mani and Raj Patel, and you have Aditya Vardhan Singh. All of these people, we are very grateful to you. And of course, Eshaan, any words?
Yeah, the one SRH fan, thank you for supporting us. But yeah, I mean, the plan ahead looks exciting because we'll still continue the podcast. Season 2 will be coming up shortly after the World Cup. We'll see how that goes. Some exciting content coming up. So that'll be on a different channel. So we'll post maybe the new Instagram title on the screen somewhere. So you can follow us. You can subscribe to somewhere here.
Yeah,
and you can subscribe to our new YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
So we'll still continue the podcast. There'll be more content coming up, but This is the end of the Cricket Club chapter. This is the end of the Overcast Podcast Season 1 chapter. It's been a great ride. It's come full circle. And there's no better way to end this.
For sure. Yeah, thank you. And I guess I'll sign off on the camp. No, I'm not going to do it.